Hello. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll be beginning in approximately 5 minutes, so please try to find a seat, and we'll be beginning shortly.
Hello, everyone. So we're going to get started in a few minutes if anyone wants to grab a seat and settle down, hopefully at 7:15.
if everyone could please get seated, we're going to start now. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful evening to celebrate our graduates from the Middle East and North Africa. My name is Sana Sharba.
And my name is Rawan Antar, and we're going to be your Masters of Ceremony for tonight. Before we begin this joyous ceremony, we would like to acknowledge that the University of Michigan was founded through the Treaty of Fort Meigs in 1817, when the Anishinaabe, the three fire confederacy of the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi, seceded their portions of their land so that their children could be educated. Through these words of acknowledgement, their ancestral traditions and contemporary ties to this land and the founding of the university are renewed and reaffirmed.
Thank you, Rawan, for leading us through this land acknowledgement. Every community owes its existence to generations from around the world who have contributed their hopes, dreams, and energy to making the history that has led to this very moment. With that, it is our absolute pleasure to serve as your co-host for tonight's ceremony as we celebrate our graduates from the Middle East and North Africa.
We'd like to take a quick moment to recognize our distinguished guests. Dr. Lori McCauley, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Martino Harmon, Vice President of Student Life, Dr. Deborah Willis, Assistant Vice Provost for Equity, Inclusion, and Academic Affairs, Dr. Juan Cole, Richard P. Mitchell, Collegiate Professor of History, Dr. Nadia Bazzi, Director, Office of Multi-Ethnic Student Affairs, Gloria Taylor, Director, Office of Academic Multicultural Initiatives, and other distinguished university leaders, faculty, and staff who are here with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Lori McCauley to the stage to deliver our opening remarks for the night. Lori K. McCauley is the Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, William K. and Mary Ann Najjar Professor of Periodontics, Professor of Dentistry at the Department of Periodontics and Oral Medicine at the School of Dentistry, and Professor of Pathology at the Medical School. Dr. McCauley earned her BS, DDS, MS, and PhD in veterinary pathobiology, all from The Ohio State University. She has had several visiting scientist and professor appointments, including the Institut de Génétique de Biologie Moléculaire et Cellulaire, l'École Normale Supérieure de Lyon, and the Center of Experimental Therapeutics and Reperfusion Injury at Brigham and Women's Hospital at Harvard Medical School. We would like to sincerely thank you for being with us here tonight.
Thank you so much. It's just delightful to be here for such a joyous occasion. Let me start and just offer my congratulations to all the graduates. And thank you all for being catalysts for excellence at our university. Congratulations. Just to share a little background for this event, in 2015, a former student had the vision to bring together graduating Arab students from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, Dearborn, and Flint campuses to celebrate their achievements as one community. Omar Hashwi's vision was inspired by attending the University of Michigan's 2014 Celebración Latina, a graduation ceremony highlighting the achievements of the Latinx students. When Omar was completing his master's degree at the Ross School of Business, he brought his vision to the attention of administrators and his colleagues and received overwhelming support for an Arab graduation ceremony. With less than 6 weeks to plan, Omar worked closely with the Office of Academic Multicultural Initiatives to complete the planning for the first Arab graduation ceremony. In 2018, the Student Planning Committee named the Middle Eastern North African MENA graduation to include these communities. The ongoing result has been a vital expression for the achievements, cultural competencies, and the impact of MENA students for their Michigan journeys and the futures that await them. Omar's leadership is a model of how students working together and collaborating with faculty and administrators can bring positive changes to our campus. It also shows how the university can provide a safe working environment for students to practice change leadership. Without Omar's vision and leadership, we would not be sharing this moment for students, faculty, administrators, and staff to celebrate and recognize the contributions of Middle Eastern and North African students here at the University of Michigan. If he hadn't done this, we would have missed the opportunity to witness the achievements of this community. We would have missed an opportunity to express gratitude for your many contributions as students on this campus. The opportunity to celebrate a fuller breadth of diversity in our community would have been lost if it wasn't for Omar. Years from now, we will continue to celebrate the Middle Eastern North African community, its culture, and academic excellence. This day provides a profound opportunity to reflect on the opportunities that arise when we all work hand in hand to create a truly inclusive campus. I'm honored to be here with all of you tonight to celebrate your achievements and your role in being catalysts for excellence on our campus. Congratulations, and thank you, graduates, family, and friends, for being part of MENA and our celebration this evening. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Provost McCauley. We would like to thank you for your continued work and commitment to supporting diversity and inclusion efforts on this campus.
Before we introduce our keynote speaker, I'd love to take this moment to acknowledge and honor some of the people we have in this room. Can we get a loud round of applause for our students in the crowd who are the first to attend and graduate college and their families? Can we get a loud round of applause for our faculty, staff, and students who have helped out putting on the ceremony tonight? And lastly, to our graduates, can we give the loudest round of applause to the parents, siblings, families, friends, and loved ones who have supported you throughout your journey at the University of Michigan? To every person in this room, your commitment to being a student, mentor, leader, or supporter does not go unnoticed. We appreciate you and are honored to have you with us on this humbling night.
Next, we'd like to introduce our keynote speaker for the night, Andrea Sahouri. Andrea Sahouri is a Palestinian American and a criminal justice reporter with the Detroit Free Press. She's a Michigan native who grew up in the Flint area. She's an alumna of the University of Michigan, where she studied American culture and Arab and Muslim American studies, and a Columbia University graduate of the School of Journalism. She's passionate about local news, storytelling, and amplifying the voices of the diverse communities she serves. Her work, particularly her ability to connect with the diverse communities, was recognized with the statewide 2021 J.P. Wagner Prize for the Young Journalist in Iowa and the 2022 Harrison Skip Weber Investigative Reporting Award, among other state awards.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me get my phone out. All right, congratulations, class of 2023. I know it's been a tough few years, at times brutal, but you made it here today. Be proud of that. I learned that it's important to embrace these moments, to recognize the work it took just to get here. You all are amazing. I'm really honored to be here, considering it's only been 5 years since my own graduation. Actually, I'm pretty sure exactly 5 years ago today I spoke at my own MENA graduation, except I think it was in the LSA building. I don't know, I can't remember. But at the time, I had no idea what life was about to throw at me. Literally no idea. I was about to move to New York and get my master's in journalism at Columbia University, despite having zero experience in journalism. Who would have guessed I'd be moving to Des Moines, Iowa, a city that I had never even heard of, after getting my master's, only to get pepper sprayed in the face and arrested by Des Moines police and taken to trial for doing my job covering a protest against police brutality. But more on that later. And who knew I would be back here, now a criminal justice reporter at the Detroit Free Press. There were times I had no idea what I was doing, and honestly, I still don't. But as my mentors have always told me, everything will be all right and everything will work out. And they were right. Every doubt I've had about myself or my career or my work has been met with opportunities I've taken advantage of and grew from. I've learned to trust the process, trust that if you put in the work, that if you believe in yourself, you get to where you're going and beyond that. I didn't grow up thinking, okay, I want to be a journalist, but the signs were always there. For starters, I love to write, always. I tried to write a novel about a time-traveling hot dog stand. I don't know why, but I made it to chapter 2. In 5th grade, I designed and printed newspapers for my 5th grade class titled Mrs. JJ's 5th grade newsletter. I recruited a few friends to write about the pressing issues of the time, from endangered polar bears to how to avoid chapped lips in the winter. I published 3 editions of the newsletter, then my parents made me stop. I was using all their ink. Then my senior year in high school, we were asked to write an essay about our 5-year and 10-year plans. I wrote my essay about how I didn't know what the hell my life was going to look like, which, was accurate. But we were also asked to do mock interviews in career fields of interest. And I actually interviewed at the Flint Journal, still not really understanding or having the resources or the knowledge of what journalism entails, or didn't have anyone to look up to in that field. I knew no journalists. But I didn't study journalism when I came to Michigan. I actually graduated, as you may have heard, with a degree in American culture and Arab and Muslim American studies. But it was there where I was taught the concepts of imperialism, colonialism, Orientalism, diaspora, epistemology, gender as a social construct, and so much more. It's where I learned for the first time the truth about this country's annexation of large swaths of Mexico, the Zapatistas and Chicana movements, our involvement in Cuba and Puerto Rico. It was where I was taught about the Black Panthers and the FBI surveillance of black and brown leaders like Angela Davis, the origins of mass incarceration, the realities of police brutality, the Detroit Rebellion of 1967, redlining, and modern-day segregation. And it's where I was taught about basic women's health, the politics of sexuality and gender, comedy as social change, the ramifications of our widening gap in generational wealth, and racism within biometrics and surveillance. The list goes on. And as an Arab and Muslim American studies minor, I learned about Arab American feminisms, art, culture, and activism, the othering of immigrants, and perceptions of Arabs and Muslims in Hollywood throughout decades. And I had finally learned about Palestinian American resistance movements inside of a classroom and outside of the classroom. For instance, in 2017, we made history at this university and passed divestment for the first time, showing the university that its students no longer wish to be complicit in Israel's crimes of apartheid and inhumane treatment of Palestinians. To this day, that's one of my most fondest memories of being here, and I think it was actually this room that we had a celebration with La Casa as well. It was a big dance party, and so just really fond memories. Students Allied for Freedom of Equality, the Palestinian solidarity group that I had led during divestment, continues to put in the work to this day. I see you, and I'm also proud. These teachings were a sharp contrast to my experience in my small-town high school right outside of Flint, Michigan, where I was one of few students of color, and where my history teacher stopped me one day after class only to tell me that Palestine, where my parents were born, where I've visited numerous times, and where much of my family still lives, doesn't exist. I use everything I've learned here at the University of Michigan every day on the job. But I think one of the most important things that happened to me while I was here at Michigan was that I found my voice and I found my community. And it was that community that helped me find my voice. Enter journalism. Together here, the way we built strong coalitions and stood up for what was right, all of it made me realize that I wanted a career where I could harness the power of my own voice and the voice of others, because for too long I didn't recognize just how much power I have to create change in the world, how much power you all have. As a journalist, I shed light on injustice every day, but I also show the beauty and complexities of our communities. During my 3 years as a social justice reporter for the Des Moines Register, I told the stories of Des Moines' large immigrant and refugee population. I reported with sensitivity, cultural competency, and awareness of the imperialism and colonialism that brought them to Iowa in the first place. Like the story of Abdullahi Sharif, a child of Somali refugees who had gone missing in Des Moines for months, and the tensions that grew between a family who could not speak English with an all-white police force in Abdi's and an all-white police force. I was the only reporter in the city who told his story from the beginning to the end, not just because I was present and had earned their trust, but because I had an understanding of the family's culture and tradition, and because I had a genuinely care for Abdi's well-being. When I report on criminal justice in Detroit, not only do I humanize victims of crime, but I bring context to show the socioeconomic factors that lead to crime. I show readers that there's always more to the story, like Porter Burks, a young man who struggled with mental illness but was killed by Detroit police after his family had called them for help. When I investigate our prison systems and the disparities within them, I bring humanity to incarcerated individual stories because our current system isn't always just or fair. In fact, it wasn't designed to be just or fair. Like my investigation into the prison death of Christopher Rios, a young man who had been sentenced to over 20 years in prison in Iowa for a robbery when he was just 18. Then there were the George Floyd uprisings. The days following George Floyd's murder were marked with global chaos. Black and brown communities erupted in protest, collective grief, and trauma. It was injustice felt like black and brown communities beyond Minneapolis, and that included Des Moines, where I was working at the time. I was the leading journalist on the ground reporting in the thick of numerous protests there. I provided fair and accurate coverage to our communities while dodging tear gas, rubber bullets, pepper spray, and officers charging with batons and riot shields. I brought context from historical archives to the Des Moines community, writing that these protests don't exist on their own, rather they're a culmination of decades of protests and injustice against black and brown communities. I talked to protesters, captured their emotions, asked them why they were there. I'd carefully observe both the actions of protesters and the actions of police. And on May 31st, 2020, I learned the realities of our justice system, especially for black and non-black people of color beyond the classroom or newsroom. I was reporting on a protest when I was pepper sprayed in the face at close range by a Des Moines police officer, placed in zip ties, arrested, and charged with interference with official acts and failure to disperse, despite repeatedly identifying myself as a Des Moines Register journalist. The officer said that's not what I asked when I identified myself. Then he deployed pepper spray right into my eyes. Even still, I refused to let my voice be silenced. After being placed in the back of a police van and still zip-tied, I was able to take my phone out of my back pocket and place it on my knee. I went live on Twitter. I continued reporting. Then my phone was taken away. The county prosecutor refused to drop my charges, despite an overwhelming lack of evidence against me and global campaigns from my alma mater, the Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism, and Amnesty International. And despite the fact that it's extremely rare in the United States for a journalism to be prosecuted for doing their job. I think I was like the first journalist to go to trial since 2018 at the time. And I went to trial in March 2021. A jury decided I was not guilty of the crimes they alleged I committed. Yeah, good times, honestly. The experience was challenging beyond the arrest because it felt personal. The police department and the county prosecutor knew me prior to my arrest. I had interviewed them multiple times for stories. Listening to my arresting officer lying under oath during my trial, watching the state ironically use TV footage local TV footage as evidence against me, reading the county attorney feed lies to national reporters, listening to the Des Moines police spokesperson insult and attempt to undermine me as a journalist on a local radio station, reading comments online like "lock her up" and the sexualization of my mugshot. All of it was difficult, and difficult is an understatement. When I was arrested, I wasn't even a year into my first newsroom job, but I learned firsthand just how far the powers that be can and will go to suppress First Amendment rights and intimidate journalists. My experience only emphasized what I already knew. Our voices are powerful. If they weren't, the state wouldn't have gone to such lengths to silence mine. But I also learned how strong I am personally and professionally. I refused to allow the state to guide my reporting and tell me how to do my job. So I continued reporting on protests and published both criminal justice and police accountability investigations in the months leading up to my trial. I became a journalist because I told myself in an early age that I never want to let anyone silence me. I want to be the one to amplify the voices that aren't being heard. My arrest and trial weren't going to stop me. It only made me stronger and louder. Some of you may already have post-graduation plans. Some of you may still be questioning what's next, which is, again, totally okay. But no matter what you choose, if there's anything I want you to take away from my time with you, it's to recognize your power, your voice, and yield that power for good. Our country is divided. Our communities are filled with love and beauty, but also pain and grief. Think about the lessons you have learned during your time here, the lessons you have learned from each other, and use those lessons to give you the courage and the confidence to stand up for what you believe in. Oh, thanks. Thanks. And on a final note, remember to laugh. Remember that through the bad, there is love and light surrounding us. That is what both the Mena community at Michigan and journalism has taught me. That amid suffering, we come together stronger, always. The history we were taught in these classrooms, the impact we've made on campus shows us that. And journalism is where our voices are heard. Thank you and congrats again, class of 2023.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for your inspiring words. We appreciate you for taking the time to join us tonight despite your very busy schedule to celebrate the new graduates of our community. Next, I would like to invite Farah Noor Saad to the stage to deliver our student keynote remarks for the night. Farah is a graduating senior with a bachelor's in political science from the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts with a minor in Middle Eastern Studies. Throughout her 4 years here on campus, Farah has shown dedication and commitment to the MENA community on campus. So without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Farah Saad.
Marhaba, ahlan, salam, and welcome to the 8th Annual Middle Eastern North African 2023 graduation ceremony here at the University of Michigan. My name is Farah Noor Hussein Saad, and it is my absolute honor to be here with you all today as a speaker, delivering the student commencement address. Before I get started, I would like for you all to take a minute to really embrace this moment. As you take a look around, notice your classmates dressed in their caps and gowns, and recall back to the first time you met them. These are the people that stuck with you through some of your toughest moments, and they were there for you during the greatest ones. They are the people that have supported you, laughed with you, encouraged you, and inspired you to be the person you are today. As you think back to how far we have come and how much farther we will go, know that these are the people that shaped a very memorable part of your life. So let us take a moment to applaud one another. As we reflect on our past years here and get ready to embark on the next chapter of our lives, I encourage you all to go forward with the following values: open-mindedness, empathy, togetherness, and confidence. Go forward open-mindedly. It's exciting to look at how our passions and identities are ever changing. We came to this university with some idea of who we wanted to be and what we wanted to become. And after having immersed ourselves in different spaces, we've learned to be open to change, open to new paths, and open to different perspectives. We've learned to embrace diversity, to value inclusivity, and to respect others' beliefs and opinions. We've learned to be adaptable, to think critically, and to solve problems creatively. This, in itself, has set us up to succeed on whatever path we choose to embark on. Go forward empathetically. Each and every one of us has embarked on a path here that has not been linear. Many of us harbor stories within us that we are not so keen to share. And for those reasons, I encourage you all to empathize with the stories and struggles of others. Make it a habit to listen to others, to ask questions, and to seek to understand your peers below the surface. Practice kindness, compassion, and respect in your relationships, your workplaces, and your communities. Go forward together. We have grown to rely on each other as a home away from home. We come together as MENA students, basking in our inherent resilience to tackle anything life has thrown our way. We come together through hardship, through activism, through friendship, and through a shared understanding of the experiences we have had here that are not so easy to explain. On this campus alone, we have protested for Palestine, advocated for a MENA box, and entered the student government spheres, all things that we have accomplished together. The collective energy we have put into supporting each other has made all the difference. Go forward confidently. We are leaving what has become familiar to us and venturing into the unknown. But we must remember that we have come this far because of our hard work, dedication, and resilience. We have the skills and the knowledge to face the challenges ahead with confidence. We must believe in ourselves, in our abilities, and in our potential. We must have the courage to take risks, to try new things, and to learn from our mistakes. We must be willing to adapt to change, to embrace uncertainty, and to persevere in the face of adversity. Finally, going forward confidently also means being content with the past. When you reflect on your time here, I want you all to go forward, satisfied with the work and effort you have put in these last few years, and recognize that you did the best that you could with the resources and knowledge you had at the time. Go forward with no regrets. Go forward knowing you made the most of your time here. Go forward knowing that the memories you made with friends in this community are what you will harbor with you for the rest of your life. These are the stories you will tell your children. Go forward knowing you have made your fellow classmates, family, and friends proud. Before I conclude, I would love to take the time to recognize a few people who have supported me through these past 4 years on this journey. It is because of these individuals and the memories I have had with them and the lessons that they have taught me that I am the person standing before you today. To my mother, Mirna, thank you for being my backbone. So sorry, guys. You have instilled in me values of perseverance and resilience, and I aspire to be a reflection of you each and every day. To my older sister, Noor, thank you for paving the way. You have been a role model and a shoulder to lean on, and I am beyond grateful for all that you have done and all that you will do. In mentioning the people who are with us here tonight, I, along with others in this room, also have people who left before their time, who deserve our deepest recognition. To my dad, I hope you are looking down on me, feeling proud of the person I have become. I am a firm believer that even in your absence, you have been a guide towards all the blessings in my life. These blessings have manifested in the people that surround me throughout my days in Ann Arbor, first being my roommates. Hayat, Nadine, and Zainab. You girls have been a blessing to come home to at the end of the night, and I'm forever grateful for our daily debriefs and nightly campus walks. To my friends, if I had the time to name everyone in our friend group, I would. You have all challenged and encouraged my creativity the most, from reigniting my passions for playing the piano to renewing my love for capturing the genuinity of our friendship through film. Thank you for being my family on campus and a source of spontaneity, inspiration, and love. And finally, to Zana, my best friend, this is our second graduation together, and you have made every moment we have had together memorable. You have been my best friend for 6 years now, and I genuinely can say that I don't know what I would do without you by my side. To close off, I would like to invite you all to view your time here as something to take pride in. Your admission here was not easily obtained, nor was your education, and neither was your graduation. But the outcome of it was as beautiful as it was challenging. With that, congratulations to the graduating MENA class of 2023. Thank you, and forever go blue.
Thank you so much for your wonderful words, Farah. I think you brought the whole room to tears. The MENA community has so much to thank you for your time throughout the years at this university. At this moment, we have the honor of recognizing our 2023 MENA graduates. If all graduates could please rise and line up on the right side of the room, please have the line wrap around outside and towards the elevators. If we could also have the platform party, please rise. And then just, and then just take a stance on the left side of the room.
Graduates, as you're lining up, please remember to stay silent as we call out the names of your fellow graduates.
Please make sure you have the white piece of paper with your name on it as well. Maya Kadu, with a bachelor's in Ross. Maya Faraj, with a bachelor's in Biology, Health, and Society. Eliana Musalam, with a bachelor's of Business Administration. Elise Mashni, with a bachelor's in Political Science.
Adra Al-Ghazali, with a bachelor's in Public Health. Salma Ibrahim, with a bachelor's in Biology. Huda Shuleiba, with a bachelor's of Science in Information and English. Zainab Hassan, with a bachelor's from the Ross School of Business in Business. Abdullah Shukir, with a bachelor's in Biopsychology, Cognition, and Neuroscience. Adam Shalak, with a bachelor's in Biopsychology, Cognition, and Neuroscience. Sharif Salman, with a bachelor's in Electrical Engineering. Noor Alisewi, with a bachelor's in Neuroscience. Lin Al-Najjar, with a bachelor's in Statistics and Biology, Health, and Society. Hadi Janatli, with a bachelor's in Biomolecular Science. Matthew Artiaga, with a bachelor's in Computer Engineering. Hadi Aloush, with a bachelor's in Biopsychology, Cognition, and Neuroscience. Muhammad Eder with a bachelor's in computer science engineering. Omar Eder with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering. Ali Eder with a bachelor's in business from Ross School of Business. Yasmin Sleimani with a bachelor's in public policy. Leila Berry with a master's in biomedical engineering. Zainab Al-Hamdallah with a master's of biomedical engineering. Hind Hussein Al-Munaidi with a master's in molecular and cellular and developmental biology. Asil Ibrahim Al-Lurain with a master's in social work. Sara Kurdi with a bachelor's in integrated health. Zainab Bashroush with a bachelor's in biomedical engineering. Liane Alawiya with a bachelor's in biomedical engineering. Hayat Bazi with a bachelor's in biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience. Sharifa Doudi with a bachelor's in public policy. Omar Fahmi with a bachelor's in organizational studies. Ziad Fahmi with a bachelor's in biomolecular science and Middle Eastern and North African studies. Batul Jouda with a bachelor's in psychology. Hannah Salame with a bachelor's in computer science. Grace Khouri with a bachelor's in cognitive science. Hamza Haqqani with a bachelor's in biomolecular science. Samia Isa with a bachelor's in biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience. Mary Rose with a bachelor's in neuroscience. Rami Salman with a bachelor's in computer science. Sara Ahmed with a bachelor's in computer science. Wasim El Saeed with a bachelor's in computer science. Hadil Abdul Lanin with a bachelor's in computer science. Mariam Haytham with a bachelor's in biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience. Manar Al-Jabouri with a bachelor's in biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience. Fatima Ali Khoja with a bachelor's in biomedical engineering. Rowan Akhtar with a bachelor's in biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience. Ammar Saloom with a bachelor's in neuroscience. Bashar Zidan with a bachelor's in computer science. Sara Talib Agha with a bachelor's in biopsychology and biohealth and society. Zara Hashmi with a bachelor's in public health. Samna Abbasi with a bachelor's in psychology. Fatima Dohatwala with a bachelor's in public health. Yassine Balouche with a bachelor's in neuroscience. Aboud Al-Soubi with a bachelor's in movement science. Ahmed Hussein Mustafa with a bachelor's in movement science. Farah Noor Saad with a bachelor's in political science. Zaina Radha with a bachelor's in political science. Akram Irshad with a bachelor's in public health. Abdu Atwi with a bachelor's in biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience. Joseph Haddad with a bachelor's in neuroscience. Daniel Abul Hassan with a bachelor's in sports management. Rina Al-Sewari with a bachelor's in biology, health, and society. And last but not least, Sumia Al-Suraimi with a bachelor's in dental hygiene program. What an honor to see all of our graduates be recognized tonight. It is such a bittersweet moment to see the same leaders who have paved the way for MENA students like myself on this campus walk down the stage as our newest generation of graduates. If I can impart on you with one last thought, or rather promise, it would be that we will continue to uplift and uphold the years of effort that you have put into this campus and into our community. We owe our future successes and accomplishments to you all, and hope you remain close enough to celebrate them with us.
Thank you, Sana. Echoing what you just said, the MENA community is only expanding from here. Every single graduate in this room has contributed to the growth, and we have to thank you for laying the foundations. Now I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Martino Harmon to deliver our closing remarks. Dr. Martino Harmon has served as Vice President for Student Life since March 26th of 2020. A longtime advocate for student success, he previously served as the Senior Vice President for Student Affairs at Iowa State University. Prior to joining Iowa State, he was the Executive Director of Student Success and Retention at Cincinnati State Community College, Dean of Student Development at Rhodes State College, and Dean of Admission, Retention, and Student Life at Washtenaw Community College. He began his career in student life at the University of Toledo, serving in increasingly responsible roles over a span of 11 years. He earned a Bachelor's of Business Administration degree in Marketing Management, a Master of Education degree in Human Resource Development and Educational Technology, and a PhD in Higher Education and Administration, all from the University of Toledo. If you give a round of applause for Dr. Martino Harmon.
Thank you for that kind introduction. Can we give one big round of applause for all of our speakers, our MCs, the organizers? They did a wonderful job. Thank you. So when you are the closing speaker, you have one main objective: be brief. because I stand between you and the reception, so I will try to honor that. I just want to bring greetings to the annual Middle Eastern North African celebratory class, to your families and your friends, and to all of our faculty and staff who are here in attendance. As Vice President for Student Life, one of my roles is to connect students to communities beyond the classroom, communities that enable students to experience a sense of belonging, and as well as pride in their achievement and a state of well-being. It's pretty obvious that students have benefited from those connections just by being here tonight. While connecting students to communities, I too am immersed in the fabric of the campus environment. As students explore, learn, and grow, so do I. The Middle Eastern and North African community is culturally rich with many layers of diversity. The presence of these layers adds to our understanding and appreciation of those things that make us unique while enriching the beauty of our own humanity. Our own community is critically important. This is my first opportunity to attend this wonderful event. I arrived at the University of Michigan in June 2020 during the early days of the pandemic. It was those days that reinforced for me the critical importance of community, of togetherness. Hard times take layers of community and mutual support to overcome them, and it takes a diversity of thought, identity of people for a community to truly flourish, even in good times. As you transition from being a student at the University of Michigan to being an alum of the greatest university in the world, you can applaud on that if you want. I encourage you to keep growing your communities. Keep growing the connections and the networks you've joined and planted here, and join and plant new ones as well. The critical impact of your UM community of friends, allies, professors, researchers, and administrators, this does not have to end for you with graduation. We hope to remain a stable foundation from which you can continue to expand your horizons in order to be positive change makers in the world. I would say to continue to be positive change makers in the world. We look forward to the legacy that will spring from your time as a member of the broader Michigan community. We applaud the pathways that you will forge moving forward, and will always value that you will forever be a part of this family, its excellence and its impact. I would be remiss in closing if I did not remind all of you to forever go blue. Wear it well, not any blue, but a pigment of blue designed by you that is deep and rich and that will not fade, that will never fade with the passing of time. So I would ask you to do one more thing. Please stand if you are able, the graduates, family, and friends, as we honor you one last time. Oh, we can do better than that. All right, that's better. That's better. Thank you. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for participating, and thank you for making the University of Michigan a better place. And go blue.
Thank you so much for your words, Dr. Harmon. I can personally say this class of graduates includes some of the most compassionate, hardworking, and dedicated people I know. I have learned so much from you all and continue to be inspired by your commitment to the growth and betterment of the MENA community on campus. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Before we let you all go, we would like to first thank Hector Galvin for being the mastermind behind this entire graduation. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been here today. We would also like to thank our fellow committee members, OAMI student staff, as well as all family and friends that have helped put on this celebration. It would not be possible without each and every single one of you. Before you leave, make sure you stop by. There's a photo booth and refreshments on the outside, and then the photo booth is also towards the back. And as we conclude the formal part of the ceremony, I ask that everyone in attendance please join your families and guests. Let's give our students a final last round of applause.